Welcome to the 15th episode of Digging with Deb. I just wanted to give you an update on some of the things that are happening in my garden, some successes, and just to let you know that there's some strange happenings going on in this garden too, just to show you what's going on. Here, let me switch this. Okay, so the first thing is, this is what's left of my beets. I canned some. And these beets are unusual. Those are pickled beets. Yep, that's beets. Notice the lovely color. Notice that it's pink, not purple. Those are heirloom beets. I'm not sure exactly what I did, but I must have ordered heirloom seeds, and unbeknownst to me, the heirloom seeds are yellow when they're cooked with pink rings. Taste just like a beet, just don't look like a beet. Now, to show you what happens when a beet is left to grow, look at that sucker. It's as long as my hand. And it decided in its wisdom, and I didn't do anything, to bloom. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of beet seeds. Now, what's crazy about these beet seeds are going to be like those heirloom beets. They will breed pure. They will breed true. They will be yellow when they're cooked with pink rings. They're heirloom beets. I don't know. I'm going to save some seeds. My husband said he doesn't care if he eats pink beets for the rest of his life because they're free. The seeds grew on their own, and I didn't do anything to them. So I'm like, okay, we'll do that. So I'm going to harvest some of those seeds later on when they get ready. And next year, I guess we'll have pink beets. I might enter them in the fair just because they're really weird. Now, the next thing is, here's my celery. Probably could be a little bit taller, a little bit fuller if it got more moisture. So next year, I'm going to make sure that it gets near those Grow Oya. But it really tastes like celery. What I'm going to do when I harvest this is I will cut it up and dehydrate it, and then just put it in the soup when I'm ready, and we'll have already chopped up celery. Isn't that cool? Jalapenos. See them? And when they ripen. And my banana peppers, I've been harvesting them, so there's not so many of those. But this year I'm getting a few green peppers. And there's another one down here. They need to grow just a bit, but they're there. My dill has dried out, so I have dill seed. Probably next year there's going to be dill all over the place here. But there you go. That's in just one of my beds. And notice, this is still blooming. So I will be getting peppers until the frost kills them. Isn't that cool how nature does that? I don't know how long to let my celery grow, but we'll see. Now, haven't had the greatest luck with the tomatoes this year. They look kind of bedraggled. They're not real healthy looking. Nevertheless, look at the size of those Roma tomatoes. They're big. Give them a couple more days to ripen, and those babies will be salsa. salsa with my my own peppers. I have some onions that I grew, and so we'll just do that. Instead of putting cilantro in, I'm going to use the flat leaf parsley that's growing like crazy there. Isn't that nice? I like to grow flat leaf parsley because there's swallowtail butterflies that like to lay eggs on that, and their caterpillars eat the parsley, and I enjoy watching that. It's just about time for them to start laying their eggs and eating up my parsley, and I don't mind. That's what I want it for. Another thing that's a little strange, I didn't realize this had happened. There is a radish. Now, I don't think I'm going to eat that radish. Probably kind of hot, probably kind of woody, but didn't even know that radish was there. Walking, there's a blueberry with a lot of lovely dandelions. Now, this is what turmeric looks like when it's growing. Looks very tropical, doesn't it? And it is. So I'm growing some turmeric. There's some roots. You harvest the roots when in the fall. That's what I'm going to be doing later on. I don't know how big it'll get or if I'll get anything, but we're going to give it a shot. And turmeric is good to use when you grind it up for inflammation, for high blood pressure, and so on. And you notice I'm leaving my dandelions. And look at that. Look at the sweet potatoes. I believe I mentioned that I put them under a cage because a rabbit was eating it. As a result, I can't weed them, so there's some weeds there that I wish I could pull, but I can't. And then look at this. Have you ever seen a sweet potato bloom? I believe you're seeing it here, right here. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I just noticed it this morning. Sweet potatoes blooming. I think it means it's maturing underground, so that means I probably have some sweet potato tubers under there to dig up in the fall. We'll see. And you can see lovely cucumber growing on my trellis. And I believe there's another lovely cucumber. Yep. And there's another one. So I might be picking some cucumbers to make some pickles. Already made 4 pints of bread and butter pickles. We've already had corn. You can see there's still some corn on the, not much, but enough for 2 people to enjoy. We will have corn probably next week, and that'd be a lovely thing. And then look, those are kidney beans that are in the process of growing. Looks like green beans, doesn't it? My husband thought it was. He said, oh, you need to pick those green beans. No, those are kidney beans. Inside of there's kidney beans. So you just leave them alone. You let them grow. You let them dry. When it's all dry, you pick them and husk them. And if you look all over this, it's starting to dry out a little bit. There's all kinds of beans in this. I'm excited to see how much I get from half of a raised bed. And then the other half of the raised bed so far looks pretty good. This is what chickpeas or garbanzo beans look like in the field when they're growing. Right there, there's some a chickpea, and I think there's just one in each of these little pods. That'll be lovely to husk. But if you look, it's still flowering all over the place. So it's still got some more to give to me. We'll see how it goes. And I'm hoping that I get a nice batch to put away. The girls are fighting over there. Not too bad. And then here's my lima beans. I was surprised. I've never had a very good crop of lima beans, but this year it's doing okay. And again, if you notice, you see the flowers there? Still flowering. So I'm going to be getting lima beans until the frost kills them. Just today, I picked enough for probably this evening's meal. Hopefully we'll get more, but right now just there's enough for the evening meal. I'm going to have some spaghetti with these lima beans. Spaghetti sauce that I made. And then there's the acorn squash. I believe I counted about 12 of them. They're all over the place here. Not very big, but they are very good. The reason they're winter squash is because the shell is hard and will, when you dry it just a little bit, it preserves the interior. So that's what's going on with that. Just to let you know, those beets that I got, going back to the beets that I showed you originally, I got 7 quarts of my lovely pink beets. And I have 4 pints of the lima beans from previous pickings. And I've got 4 pints of pickled beets. And I've got 8 quarts of spaghetti sauce. So I'm getting quite a bit of food, and that's not including the tomatoes that I've picked and the cucumbers I've picked that I've made salads out for supper. So getting quite a bit of food from this garden. Anxious to see how the sweet potatoes produce. Anxious to see if my idea of dehydrating celery works. But that's the plans. That's the current events on the garden. I would like to thank you for watching this episode of Digging with Deb. I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll post again soon. We'll see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.